Hey guys, Josh Carter here, One Objective Outdoors, and in today's video we're going to be talking about my jig setup, so stay tuned. Alright guys, like I said at the beginning of this video, we're going to be going over my jig setup, and I've been running this setup for about right at 2 years now. And I love this setup. This is a phenomenal setup. It's super sensitive. It's super light. You got the right gear ratio to help pick up the slack line, all that stuff. So let's kind of dig into this. This is the G Loomis NRX. I know this rod is a little pricey, and you can get away with a lot cheaper. But this is just the setup that I like. And I was never one to want to spend a lot of money on a rod. I'm really big tightwad when it comes to spending a lot of money on a rod, but when it comes to finesse style fishing, or when it comes to something that you need really sensitive, like a Texas rig or a jig or any of that stuff, that's when you really need to spend your money and get you a decent rod and use some good line. Now the good thing about this rod setup, what I got here, is it's versatile for other things like Texas rigging and all that stuff. You could actually Carolina rig with it if you want to. I don't really prefer it as a Carolina rig, but it's still a great rod to do all kinds of different stuff with. So but this is the NRX. This is the 854C, and it's the JWR, so it's the jig worm rod is what they call it. It's a 7'1" fast heavy, so it's got the backbone here to really horse them out around a log or under a dock or whatever, but it's also got a good fast tip on it. It really helps with skipping. This is a phenomenal rod for skipping under docks, under laydowns, and all that stuff. And that's why I really like it for my jig setup. For one, it's sensitive, and two, you can about pretty much put this jig anywhere. It makes you look like a pro, what I say, when you go to skipping, because it really throws it up on it. It helps you get that right flex in a rod to really get it up, sling it up under a dock or a laydown or whatever. So also, this is a Shimano Curado DC, and this is an 8 to 5. I'm sorry, I was going to say 8 to 3, but this is an 8 to 5 gear ratio, and I want a faster gear ratio when I'm working a Texas rig and I'm working a jig. And the reason is because when you throw it out there, especially if they hit it on the way down and they start swimming to you, you can catch up to it quick and set the hook. It's not as important like if you're working a reaction bait like a spinner bait or crankbait. You don't want that fast of a gear ratio. Some may like it, but I don't. But on my Texas rigs and jigs, I like having that fast gear ratio. Real, especially like if I'm working like ledges and I'm casting a jig out there, and it'll pop off of one ledge and start falling down. A lot of times they'll hit it and they're either going to swim to you out in the deep water to get away from the other fish, or they're going to start swimming to the side. And this way you got that time to reel down quick and set the hook on them. So I'm also using 16-pound Sunline Sniper. It's got really good abrasion resistance. It's just a good line for, like, say, working jigs and Texas rigs. And I use this line all different pounds on basically most of my setups. They got other lines, specialty lines out there to do different things with, like finesse fishing and all that, but the Sniper is really hard to beat for all around line for all kinds of different setups, and they got lots of different poundages you can choose from. So I just like the Sniper line a lot when it comes to that. And then for the jig, I'm just using the Missile Baits Ike's Mini Flip. This is in black and blue. I got the Super Bug color on here. I don't know if y'all can see that color. See that real good? If the camera's getting it or not. But I'm fishing dirty water today. It's cold water. It's 47 degrees. So I'm able to get this in there. It's got a little bit slower fall, and that way if the fish are lethargic, they can go down and hit. It's just slower for them, so when they want to hit it, they don't want to hit something that's dropping really fast. They want something that's a little bit slower fall. So this is basically my jig setup. It's been a great setup so far, and like I say, I know it's a pricey setup, but you can get away with less without having to spend so much money. But just the main thing is making sure you're getting the right action, using the right line, and having a high-speed gear ratio reel to help keep up with all that slack. So other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. If you don't mind, comment down below, what is your favorite jig rod? I really like to know. And what action do you like to use? So, but put that down below. Other than that, guys, we'll talk to you later. Hit the subscribe button. See ya.